can't sleep, trapped in my own mind. Anxiety. Drowning in the darkness, just can't see the light. Depression. Doubtful, insecure, can I really do this? Imposter syndrome. I'm alone, unloved, just feel invisible. That's loneliness. We're not therapists, but we need one.
Hello, and welcome to We're Not Therapists, but we need one.
The podcast where we have honest and vulnerable conversations about our mental health with one another.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Anthony, and neither of us are therapists.
But we're trying to help ourselves and each other by sharing our experiences and feelings.
In this show, we'll deep dive into topics like anxiety, depression,
self-esteem, trauma, and more.
We'll talk about how they affect us,
how we cope,
and what we've learned along the way.
We're not doing this to bash or blame anyone,
especially our families who may have contributed to our mental health challenges.
We're doing this to heal and grow,
and hopefully inspire others who can relate and open your mind to your own healing.
We also want to warn you that this show may contain some sensitive and triggering content.
We'll be talking about personal and painful things that happen to us and how they still affect us to this day.
If you're not comfortable with that, or if you feel like you need professional help,
this show may not be for you. But
if you're ready to join us on this journey of self-discovery and self-improvement, we're glad to have you.
We're not experts, but we're honest and we're not alone.
Now, let's start the timer. Anthony, how do you feel today?
I'm doing well today. I'm having a good day, despite the fact that my dog had surgery to remove his left eye today.
That sucks.
In spite of that, I'm doing well, mostly because he's doing well. He's staring at me right now with his one eye, and he's still a little groggy from his anesthesia. And so he's starting to get a little sleepy because he had dinner just a minute ago. I was afraid he wouldn't eat it very hungrily because, he's just he just had surgery. He just had his eye removed. And for people, apparently, that's a traumatizing thing that happens to you. For dogs, apparently not so much. From everything the vet said, it's a really, standard surgery. And it happens way more often than you think. And so we went to pick him up this afternoon after we both got off work, and he came out of the back just thrilled as hell, which I imagine it's because what had happened was he had a tumor in his left eye.
Oh, no.
And I imagine that his eye pressures had been fine for a while, but in the last couple of weeks, they've gotten really high. And so he apparently was experiencing a low-grade migraine all the time.
Oh,
which is why we made
thing.
the decision to go ahead and just get it out with the, with the melon baller.
You mean you didn't do what your mom would say and be like, sweetheart, it's all in your head. You just have to get rid of the headache by not thinking about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying not to traumatize my child the way that my parents traumatized me. He's just a whole different kind of fucked up.
If you don't do it right one way, you mess it up somewhere else.
Yeah, I was a little stressed coming into today because I worry about him a lot. He's we've had him for almost 13 years. And I don't know, he's just my buddy. And that's, it's like having this really great friend who also lives in your house, but also can't argue with you, but also you have to clean up their poop.
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
Yeah. So anyways, that's been the day today, but luckily everything went fine. The surgery went really fast. I dropped him off at 7:45 and they called me at 10. They're like, yeah, we're done. And I was like, what?
Get him the hell out of here.
You got the whole eye, right? The whole thing? Or do we need to they're like, oh yeah, the right one, right? No, it was the left one.
Oh, we'll just shove it back in and you won't notice.
But anyways, so he that went really well, and then my boss actually gave me permission to work from home for the rest of the week so that I could monitor him. So that was really nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, which I asked him for it, and I was just like, hey, I just want to make sure he's going to be good. I don't know what to expect exactly, and So anyways, that was really nice, and I was told that I could absolutely do that. Just don't tell anybody that I'm doing it.
Hi, I'm working from home. You're not supposed to
You're not supposed to know. Keep your mouth fucking shut.
know. I won't kill you.
Anyways, so yeah, so it's been a good day. I'm finally getting to wind down and do this, and I'm making some guacamole this evening.
Just about to ask. I was like, what are you making today?
Yeah. So last week it was pico, and this week it's guacamole because we've been eating a lot of guacamole, and the avocado is really healthy. And I'll eat the crap out of it, and I'll snack on it instead of eating something like queso. Um,
It's
and
good, but it is salty.
well, I mean, my guacamole is not salty, but you know, it's it's avocado versus cheese, so I'm still doing a little better. So
See, there you
again,
go.
again, I fight my health battles by increments and not by whole entire wars all at once.
Boy, do I relate to that.
Yeah. So how was your day? You've been on the road all day.
I have been on the road all day, but it was good. It was just a very bland drive. I came back from New Mexico because I took a spontaneous trip
Nice.
because I think the last time I recorded, I had not officially accepted a job yet.
No, you had not officially accepted that yet. I don't even think we talked about it.
No, I left it out. But since recording, I've accepted a new job, and as of tomorrow, I start this new job.
Nice.
And so, while leaving my old job and between starting the new one, I decided to take a little spa trip to Santa Fe, and I stayed at a hotel with a spa so that way I could get a couple of massages and have them beat the old me the hell out of me.
Oh, good luck with that.
And boy, did she do it.
Yeah. Mom been trying to do that for years.
Yeah, it was quite the beating. Um, this spa place was Native American owned.
Oh, nice.
So like a lot of the staff was they were Hispanic or Native American. So like all the food was really good.
Yeah.
What was funny is walking in that hotel, I'm like, this place smells like ham and beans. And that is not a complaint.
I was about to say, hang on. That sounds like white people food.
It was delicious. Whatever, I don't remember what dish I got, but there was beans on the side and it was my breakfast. It was their Pueblo breakfast, I think. And
Can you say
Pueblo, I
Pueblo for me
know.
one more
I
time?
stumbled through it. Pueblo?
God, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this on Beards and Sunders so I can make fun
That's
of you
fine.
more.
Um, but it was so good. So, anyways, yeah, did that. The woman beat me up. She did fantastic. My neck hurts though. I don't know what she did to it, but she tore some muscle, being like, you're stupid bitch." No, I'm kidding.
You dumb bitch. I just kept imagining that scene from Final Destination 5.
Which one was that one?
That's the one where they on the bridge and like the guy
Oh,
goes, yeah, he
yes.
goes to the spa and anyways, yeah. So this isn't a movie podcast. This is a mental health podcast. Please continue with your relaxing spa weekend to clear your mind.
Well, it ended up being really nice. I'm happy to be back. I always miss my bed when I travel because I have a really cozy ass bed.
You know, it's funny because like when I was younger, I always thought that like I just enjoyed traveling so much and I didn't care. I never thought about my bed. And now as an adult, I always want to be back in my bed. And I'm realizing it's because when I was younger, I had bad beds.
Yes, that is what I recognized. Is as a child, I just slept on the equivalent of what I think Jesus slept on in his manger. I'm pretty sure it was just
I
hay
think that's just
stuffed in
hay,
something.
which makes sense. I mean, you know, you grow up in Kansas,
Because fuck me, like the money I've spent on like this mattress I have now and stuff like that, it's so fucking cozy. Like every night I lay down and I do this weird noise where I'm like, oh, because I'm just so happy to lay down on my cozy ass
Yep.
bed.
Yep. It's like our couch where I'm like, I sit all day at work because I have an office job and I'm at my desk all day, but sitting on my couch hits fucking different.
Oh my god, 100%. My couch, meh, it's okay. It's nothing impressive, but I didn't want anything nice for this apartment.
Well, I mean, you always go for like form as well as function, and I don't do that.
Yeah.
I
I
go
also
for the
didn't.
form of comfortable.
I also didn't want to like have a furniture company have to deliver anything. So like that couch is technically able to be taken apart.
It'd be like that gay that if you were on Queer Eye, like the new Queer Eye, they'd walk into the house and be like, a lazy boy. Anyways, continue.
That lazy boy is so terrible. Oh, no, I'm kidding. They're talking
I
about you,
can't.
not the couch.
Well, also true. Also true. But anyways,
Oh, but anyways, yeah. So then I drove home today, and tonight I am making my homemade chicken salad
nice.
because it's gotten warm out, and I love a delicious chicken salad in the summertime because I'm very Martha Stewarty about this.
Oh, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I was like, oh my God, we're doing Martha.
If you don't have store-bought, homemade will do just fine.
I love that you did that with an entire chicken you got from somewhere else. Homemade will be just fine. Here's
Homemade
this
will be just
pre-made
fine.
chicken I bought. You know what though? I mean, so I'm making this guacamole, and I'm almost 100% certain that before we finish this episode, I'm going to be done making it. Before we finish both of these episodes, I should say, because we're probably going to end up dragging this into two. So my next dish to make after this to have prepped foods for the week is suddenly pasta salad, bacon and
Oh,
ranch.
yum!
It's in a box, and I don't give a fuck.
My plan was to slowly make this chicken salad and then literally eat it in front of you.
Ooh, bitch. You ever
Get
kiss
out the
somebody who
way.
just ate
Get out
pizza
the-
salad? It's like primo kissing experience. But anyways,
I'd have to say no, that has not happened to me.
it's only happened to me once, but the time that it did.
So, boys, line up if this is an experience you want. Also,
yeah.
bring the food so I can taste it. No, I'm kidding.
Right. No, I'm a little jealous though that you got yourself a nice little weekend away. We just got our like work bonuses, and I just spent it on dog eye removal, which I mean at least was timely. I'm glad that I had the bonus and I then didn't have the bonus and then have to come up with $1,100 to get a dog eye out.
I was waiting for my bonus last time, and I was still like a week or so out when Reggie had to go get his butt sewn up. I was like, oh, that's fine. I guess I'll just take this out of my budget?
More like his butt jet.
Oh, but he did go on my Santa Fe trip with me, and he was just such a little gentleman.
That's really cool. I have thought about taking some like solo trips, but I don't get enough time off really to justify that right now. Maybe in the future if I find something different that gives me more time off. But
My thing about that is my last dog, Jake. He felt like my spirit animal. Like I loved him dearly. He was such a sweet dog. And I regret not doing more traveling with him. I thought about it a lot of times. And I just would be like, oh, that's too much work. I won't. So I never did much. And with Reggie, I'm like, no, I'm going to like take you with me because you're like my ride or die bitch here.
yeah, well, and I mean it's a little easier to travel with a Reggie than a Jake,
That is also true.
because like we've talked about it because Ricky's getting a little up there, and it does stress me out to think about him passing away. But he's also such a trooper that like he's just, I mean, he came out of the back of that vet office like one eye missing, fully sutured up, just happy as could be. And it's just like, okay, well, I mean, you're such a fucking trooper, man. You're a tank. So I don't have like, I'm not thinking he's like on a downhill slope or anything, but he's almost 13. He's a corgi. He weighs 42 pounds. So it's going to happen at some point. And I thought about taking Finster on hiking trips with me, but that bastard does not like being in the car.
Oh man, Reggie's a champ about it. Like he gets a little excited, and if you don't kind of set the boundaries, then yeah, he can be a little bit of a pain. But once you build the boundaries, he's fine. Like on the way to Santa Fe, we had a little moment where I had to yell at him, and then I felt really guilty because he was like legit pouting. And So then
This
I had
car
to
is inaccurate
apologize.
too. You had to apologize to your dog.
I literally had to apologize because I yelled at him.
And did he deserve it?
Kind of.
And yet you still apologize. People
Yeah.
pleasing even to dogs.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry, buddy. You just have to understand that it's stressful to drive a 2-ton vehicle. No, I'm kidding. To drive a massive ass heavy piece of machinery, and you're just trying to steal chicken nuggets out of my hands while I'm trying not to kill people on the highway around me or us. And then I gave him chicken nuggets.
And then you gave him chicken nuggets. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I thought about doing like taking Finster on like hiking trips just to get him out of the house and do some more. And so the other day, Ricky was not feeling up to going on a walk. And so we have this walking trail across the street from the house, and I took Finster out there. And normally we do like one lap around it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take him for a second lap because he's got so much energy that like surely he'll be good. He'll be thankful for a second lap. You thought I was torturing him. You would have, like, he just, the way he kept trying to like get off of the trail and head back to the house. And I was just like, dude, you love being out here. What the fuck? He's like, yeah, but only on Finter terms.
Only when I want to do it.
Yeah. And by the way, that's my dog's voice that we have for him.
Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah. If you don't personify your dogs, you should really start doing that. It's a lot of fun.
You know, I don't personify Reggie as much as I always did Jake.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
We definitely personify both of our dogs.
I will say on my
That's our
drive
voice.
back from Santa Fe, it's like McDonald's is a standard stop for me on a trip like that because you have to have McDonald's Coke.
Yes.
And,
Yes,
oh, shut up.
anyways, continue.
I love being your
I shouldn't-
therapist.
I
Shut the
shouldn't.
fuck up.
I shouldn't yuck people's yum on this podcast.
So then I get like a Coke and some chicky nugs. And so today on my drive back, I got him again. And Reggie was just so well behaved about waiting for his nugs.
Oh,
And I was like, see, you're such a little good boy once in a blue moon.
yeah, that's Ricky is not that. He is very much like a give me my shit now. And when we fed him today, because they get dinner at 6, of course he has to have half dinner because he just came out of anesthetic today. And
Uh-huh.
he's starting an NSAID, a little doggy NSAID that's supposed to help him with some pain for the next few days. And I thought he'd be a little more lethargic because when we get his teeth cleaned, he's pretty like out of it. Oh my God. It was insane. He knocked over the water dish. He knocked over his food dish. I had to change his food dish to another bowl because he kept slapping the e-collar that he has on it. And so, yeah, so he can't like reach it. So then I ended up just dumping the food on the ground for him, and that finally worked.
Our children.
Yeah. Well, the things you do for love.
Oh my God, tell me. Yeah, in Santa Fe, everyone kept going, have you guys hiked? And I said, well, he's a Frenchie. So, like, hiking isn't really in the realm of possibility.
It's not really a thing for him.
I was like, he has the energy to do it until he starts doing it.
He's a sensitive boy, just like me.
And it definitely shows up there because he easily would get pretty worn out.
That's Ricky, especially these days, and he'll get worn out on the trail. And just like I bought him this little wagon for him to tow along in, so that he could come along on like longer walks. And he's just like an old man in that, like, imagine your grandfather who refuses to use a walker but definitely needs a walker. That's exactly and no, I'll do it myself. And I'm just like, you can't do it yourself. You're gonna stop in 2 minutes and stare at me like I'm killing you.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Jesus. Yeah, he would get super pumped up and want to go do stuff, and then I'd be like, bud, calm down. And then all of a sudden, like, we'd get back in, and he would go straight to his kennel in the hotel room and just like fall asleep.
oh,
It's like 2 p.m.
we took Ricky and Finster on exactly one trip with us down to see Joe's parents, actually. And oh my God, Finster, the entire time, Joe's parents live in Florida, and it's a 21-ish hour drive from here. The entire time, I think Finster thought that he was being taken to just like be readopted or something because he was so stressed the whole time.
Oh,
And Ricky's pretty chill when you travel with him because he's just chill about a lot of things except food. Um, but
same. I'm the same way though.
we got into a hotel room in I think Memphis just to give the dogs a break, and because I when I'm on a road trip I can just drive straight through if it's just like me. Um, but anyways, he gets up in the bed with us and like crawls up real slowly because he's a corgi. He does a little corgi crawl up into my armpit while I'm laying there, and he falls promptly asleep. And so now I'm like in there eating my Burger King like burger, like trying not to move because you know you love your dog and you don't want to fuck
Yeah,
with your dog
you
too
can
much.
never disturb a dog. This is Nick
Yeah.
Fire, right? Okay, good.
Yeah, I do wonder what that outlet is though. Like dog people, you know, like my parents were always dog people. I'm a dog person, and I just like I know people who are not dog people, and I've always wondered what the dynamic is there.
It's true. Like we grew up with dogs, but we didn't grow up treating the dogs like I do.
Also true. Like I say that, but I know that my mom does treat her dogs like really pampered.
Yeah, no, you always had outside dogs. And then my
Mm,
mom met my stepdad, which he always had one inside dog. And his situation was he raised bird dogs, made them grand champions at like bird trials, field trials. There we go. And forget what the terms are. And then the grand champion would stay in the house. So it's like we spoiled them for being good at what we trained them to do. And
you sound so bitter, like you were not allowed in the house, but the trained champions were.
so I actually always super loved all the dogs that were in the house. But I'll never forget this one memory that I have that pissed me off so much about just, I don't know, priorities in that household. They got to the point where one of our dogs, like mom, would always feed her a plate basically of what we were eating. Now looking back, I'm like, how did that dog like not have terrible diarrhea? But
That
there
is
was
a
one
great
time
question.
there was one time she made straight up spaghetti.
For the
And
dog?
I walk in the kitchen and the dog is like devouring a massive plate of spaghetti that mom like put on a plate and chopped it up so that way the noodles weren't long.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just this huge full plate. And I walk in and I'm like, why am I just now hearing that it's dinner time when the dog's halfway through a meal?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what ended up happening was mom gave the dog so much that we didn't really have that much for the three of us. And so
Wow.
it was just like, I'm fucking starving. Like, you gotta prioritize that first. Plus, I don't even think the dog's supposed to be eating that stuff.
No, no, definitely not. God.
And so
That's
it's just like those moments that kind of pissed me off a lot as a kid.
I get that. It's like it's getting overlooked, and I think that is like a lot of my like I'm gonna say trauma, because I don't really know how else to like phrase it, but like I've always felt like I get on the outside of things, and like I
Yeah.
can't ever get to the inside of groups and conversations and discussions, and like it fucks me up when that happens because I don't know but it's stuff like that where like when family forgets about you, it feels very Home Alone esque.
Oh. And in most of my life, like it was just like go away. And so I was always being brushed off. And I, for so long, wanted to be involved because if I felt involved, I felt like they loved me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was constantly chasing that as a kid, which
Yep.
explains so much of my adult life and I don't know, like my dating history and all that stuff. And
Yep.
it's what made me such an anxious attachment for such a long time. But then it also made me an avoidant whenever I didn't want to deal with people. it was much easier to just avoid the situation, ghost them or something like that, because confrontation wasn't my thing and I was a people pleaser.
Yep.
And when I couldn't people please you, my theory was just go away.
I just won't talk to you. That'll solve
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And it's all like trailing back to how I grew up, which is so wild.
Is it? Is it that wild?
It's
Are you
not,
sure?
but it is. Like
Are you, are you certain it's wild?
it's so insane to think that your entire life is driven by what the people who raise you want you to know.
Uh-huh. And it is. I mean, that's exactly it. It's why I get so irritated with some of these parents that, like, I don't know. Eh, let's say parents who are like, well, I don't care if they're gay or anything, but I don't want to talk to them about it while they're young because, I don't want to influence them. I was like, well, then you do care if they're gay.
Yeah.
But it also shows.
Ideally, you're saying, I don't want them to be, but if they are, I won't be mad at them. But if I try and keep it out of their mind, they won't do it.
Yeah, and I think that, like, that irritates me. Well, I don't think, I know it irritates me. But it's because those parents who avoid those conversations and try to raise you in a specific way are avoiding reality. And if you continue to try to protect your child from all of reality all the time and try to cater them to what you want them to be, you're not raising a child, you're raising a project.
Yeah.
And that is not those are two different things. But
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, like one of my coworkers at this old company that just left before I left, she's a mom and she like tells me about her stuff and she was raised the exact same way, conservative, all that.
mhm.
Now she's like in school for psychiatry to get her master's in it, and
I bet she's not so conservative anymore.
she's not at all. And so like she'll tell me stuff that her daughter talks about, and I was like, I have to tell you, like, your daughter's so blessed to have a mom that wants her to be safe, but understand that the real world exists. And I sit there and went, we weren't raised that way. I had to learn it all on my own in the creepiest ways.
Yep. Well, that's just it. Like, if your child is going to be gay or trans, they're always going to be gay or trans, and it's not going to matter. Like, if they're going to be bi or queer or anything. So no matter how much you try to raise them a specific way, those are just things that are going to happen no matter what.
Right.
And so you're just causing them to not feel seen in your presence.
Yeah, which is exactly what I experienced.
Yeah, which I mean, same, because it wasn't that my parents didn't necessarily like pay attention to me. It was just the important parts of me that I knew were there were being washed over, and
Yes.
I felt like I couldn't talk to them about it, and so I didn't,
Oh, yeah.
and so I avoided it at all costs. And I mean, whenever I did actually come out, I mean, they sort of confirmed that I should not have talked to them about it initially, but I'm glad that I did it because it did put them in a situation where they had to either acknowledge me or be out of my life. And I mean, I will say they're in it now and they, talk to Joe and like it's a whole thing. So at least there's that. But that's not everybody's experience. In fact, that's not most people's experience.
I laugh at how little my parents are actually involved in my life, in the sense that, they call and they're like, oh, how's work? How's the dog? I don't know. There's the same three questions, and I'm just so bored of them, I forget. But they don't like dig into details. They're not just like, hey, like,
Talk to you, which is something that is
how's,
very different from talking at you.
yeah, how's dating going? Like, what? They don't know anything about my dating life right now. Um, what do you do at work? Things like that. So because of that, I leave out a lot of details. I answer the question. I say busy as always. And like they have no clues who's starting a new job, things like that. I'm just like, I'm not throwing information out to you.
I mean, I don't blame you. That's not like, honestly, it's not. You are still the child in this relationship, like even though you're an adult, and
Oh,
there
for
is
sure.
like the onus of trying to be in your life and learn about you does not fall upon you. Like that is their, you know, they
You know what the most amazing part about this is? Is we have like a minute left, and so they were almost on time.
Jesus, hang on one second.
No, it's totally fine. As you're working on that, I will just tell everyone that right now I am making my specialty J drink, and it's super classy because it's what's left of my boxed wine mixed with sparkling flavored water.
Nice. What's left of my box wine? Yeah, sorry, my dog saw people out in the backyard of the other house, and then he's not used to that, so he obviously panicked. It seemed like
Well,
the
why
right
wouldn't you
reaction.
panic?
And my dog, who has the e-collar, and who just came out of surgery today, went flying across the house in his cone because he needed to be involved. So, anyways, you could say he's doing well,
I think
but
he's doing all right. Sounds like
yeah,
he's doing all right.
he's doing great. But anyways, I want to finish my thoughts on the ownership of uh, learning about your child falling upon a parent rather than a child. But I think that's going to be next week's episode with the amount
Yeah.
of time we have left in this.
I think that'll be a good episode continuation for next week because we just ran out of time.
And we'll take a quick pause for me to turn on the blender so you guys don't have to hear that.
Exactly.
But Jay will.
And we're out of time.
Thank you for joining us today on our show. As you can see, therapy is not always easy, but it can be very rewarding and healing.
If you want to follow our journey and see how we progress, tune in next episode for the continuation of We're Not Therapists, but We Need One.
Join us on our socials, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram, and email us at nopenotttherapists@gmail.com.
That's NOPENOTTHERAPISTS @gmail.com.
We would love to hear your thoughts on our journey, or any questions you have that we can help answer. Until then,
Stay safe.
mental health is a serious and important issue that affects millions of people around the world.
If you or someone you know is struggling with depression, anxiety, trauma, or have any other mental health conditions, you're not alone, and there is help available.
You don't have to suffer in silence or feel ashamed of your feelings.
There are many resources and support networks that can help you cope and heal.
Here are just a few.
The Crisis Text Line, which is a 24/7 service that connects you to trained crisis counselors who can help you with any type of emotional crisis. You can text HOME to 741-741 in the US or Canada, or 85258 in the UK, or 50808 in Ireland. You can also visit crisistextline.org for more information.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is a 24/7 service that provides free and confidential support for people in distress, as well as prevention and crisis resources. You can call them at 1-800-273-8255 or chat online at suicidepreventionlifeline.org.
The Headspace app, which is a meditation and mindfulness app that can help you reduce stress, improve your mood, and enhance your well-being. The app offers guided meditations, breathing exercises, sleep sounds, and other tools that can help you relax and cope with your emotions. You can download the app for free and try it for 10 days or subscribe for unlimited access to all features. You can find the app on the App Store or Google Play, or visit headspace.com for more information.
These are just some of the resources that we have found helpful, but there are many more out there that can suit your needs or preferences. The most important thing is to reach out for help when you need it, and to know that you are not alone. Mental health is not a weakness, but a strength, and taking care of it is one of the best things you can do for yourself and your loved ones. Until next time.